Columbia County News. Wherever the story breaks, wherever the news goes, Columbia County News will bring it to you. With Debbie Corsilia and Mark Johnson with sports. And now, here's Debbie.
Welcome to Columbia County News, the place for the latest in local information. I'm your host, Debbie Corsilia. To keep you in touch with your community, keep it right here. The County Commissioner's task of adopting amendments to the existing policies in order to comply with state codes is becoming more complicated. Last week, they made their final decision, essentially changing the buffer between mining pits and other industrial sites from 5,000 feet to 3,000. This week, they consider the implications of that decision.
So really what we want to show you today, very simply, is for the 9 recommended new significant sites, the impact of the 3,000-foot policy that I just read, and then the impact of the 3,000-foot policy on expansions of existing active mines. So that's what we're going to show you today. Scappoose, Spitzenberg area. We'll start with that one. As you can see, 3,000-foot area from the existing zoned light industrial site. This happens to be the Scappoose Sand and Gravel site and the Meyer property, the airport. These are other areas that are either currently being mined or are identified as significant sites. As you can see, in this particular case, Scappoose Sand and Gravel, the existing mine, expansion in that mine would be affected by the policy, would be prohibited, and mining of the Meyer site would be prohibited, is designated for industrial. The policy would affect any expansion at the water site, would not allow an expansion. This is the water site. We have a couple that are sites that are unaffected. Tide Creek area, which includes the Deer Island, the Morse Brothers operation there. This is the extension of the Reichhold, that area of Reichhold property. Deer Island operation would not be affected by the policy, and the area, I believe this is Tide Creek. That's would be outside of that impact area. So of the 9 recommended significant sites, the Meyer property and the Reichhold chemical property would be the 2 that would be where mining would be prohibited under the policy. 2 of the 9. Of the existing quarries, listing existing operations, it appears we have, how many do we have?
7 total, so there'll be 5.
They're listed
Down from page
Okay, there are 7 total existing sites that would be
5 existing sites and 2 proposed.
okay. So it'd be 5 of the existing quarry sites that would be where expansion of those operations would not be allowed under the policy.
Sorry about it. Especially the water site. That is a very significant site that's dropping in the state, and we need to figure out some way where we do not affect that mine.
Well, I believe this can be adjusted from 0 to 3,000, isn't that right?
We're going to have a pretty exhaustive workshop where we sit down and we look at all of this, and we start talking about
A long Scappoose City Council meeting flared up during comments by Councilor Jim Huffman. New Chief Margot Dews responded to the councilors' comments.
And I need to follow up on something that Dave mentioned about where you see police cars. I think we all need to spend some time talking to Chief Dew about our views of law enforcement in our community. We mentioned the iron in the water is a benign effect that our city has on our public. The impact that the police can have on our public is not necessarily so benign. It can be detrimental. In fact, before I was elected, I had many people come to me because of complaints about the kind of personal relationship with their policemen in this community. And I really felt that before I was on the city council, and even after I was in the city council, I didn't feel like I got a lot of response from our hired personnel in the police department with what my recommendations were for policing policies. Well, I recommended that we not use unmarked police cars for traffic enforcement. I think right now we should ask our police department to have all stalking complaints go through our city attorney. Mr. Weber indicated where our police cars are seen is an issue to him. We had a police car wrecked in St. Helens about, I'm not sure, was it 6 months ago? Covering a domestic call in St. Helens. I talked to a person in the courthouse today who had a citation issued in the city of Rainier, in the city limits of Rainier. From my home to the city limits, to the city of Rainier is a 35-minute drive. We sent a Scappoose police officer to cover that call in Rainier. And if we're sending people to St. Helens to work, and to spend, I don't know how many hours, because I've never heard a report on it, we need to be involved in those decisions because we owe it to our public to make sure that they're getting the value for their dollar. If our city government is really hiring a area-wide police department, we need to know about that and make some decisions, because if we want to work with an area-wide department, maybe we should contract our services as they do in Lakewood, where our chief is from.
Well, I'm going to have you respond.
I have to, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not finished.
As you recognize.
I'm not finished. I haven't finished my comments, please. You want to take the floor away from me?
Go ahead.
Okay. If Chief Dew wants to debate me on any of these, I do want an open and fair debate, and I certainly will debate her on any of these issues. I do not want to talk about specific people and invade people's privacy, and I don't want to, I would be very offended if Chief Dew wants to do that, and I'd certainly be glad to debate her in any open forum, and pick a date in the future if you want to, Chief Dew, and I'd like to tell the council this tonight. There's a law that we are in violation of, and have been since January 31st, 1998, that requires that we have in place a policy that governs the procedure to use in handling complaints of discrimination against citizens. And we need, as policymakers for the city and as the elected representatives, we need to be the craftsmen of the procedure to make sure it's fair, to make sure that the citizen side gets due consideration, and to have some appeal process in place that we can look at.
Mr. Huffman is absolutely correct. The policy was supposed to be in place by January 31st, 1998. On March 23rd, 1998, which was exactly 3 weeks later, which made it 4 weeks after I assumed command, General Order 98-001 became effective, and it's an adoption of a policy regarding persons sought, including persons and vehicles. This policy is a model policy that was written by the Oregon Association Chiefs of Police. I will be the first to admit that this policy is not written in a positive manner and assumes that police officers are all bad and will do the wrong thing whenever possible. I hope that you all know that is not my personal philosophy. However, it is my responsibility to ensure that we are protected from civil liability. Therefore, I needed to get a policy in place. And I'm very sorry, but I will not accept responsibility for anything that occurred prior to February 23rd. I think bringing up a bunch of past incidents is unfair, and quite frankly, I consider your comments about bringing up my past assignment at Lakewood and making comments about contracting as a veiled threat. If you want to contract, fine. I don't care. I love this community. I'm staying in the community, whether it's a member of the police department or it's a community member.
Late reports indicate that the chief has filed an ethics complaint against Huffman, which left him shocked and stunned. This dispute will be investigated by the state's Government Standards and Practices Commission. The St. Helens Scappoose Chamber of Commerce held their forum April 7th, and the featured speakers were William Willey of the St. Helens School District and Ed Danielson of the Scappoose School District. The bond proposals on the ballot May 19th were discussed.
In reviewing the information that the district elected to come out with another bond measure this spring, but one that specifically covers the elementary areas where we are. And we're concerned, one, about the safety of children and having them in a safe environment. We're concerned about the growth, the numbers of students that we have been receiving the last 2.5 to 3 years, and they predominantly at the elementary level. Our elementary schools are full. And the third is equity. And we talk about equity in education for all children. When you have some classrooms with 650 square feet and you're pumping 28 to 29 students in there, and you have other classrooms of 900 to 1,000 with the same number of students, you're able to do multimedia. The buildings are not part of, well, when you got one plug-in, you know, you can't really keep things moving in there. So we're looking at replacing 2 buildings completely. We're looking at remodeling Columbia City. Columbia City will keep the historic portion of theirs, and I wished I had the rendering here. It's in somebody's car, and that somebody is at another meeting, and I don't have them, but it's a gorgeous rendering of that piece. John Gum will be replaced and be torn down, and Condon will be torn down.
We have a little different situation in Scappoose. It's kind of hard to believe with the building we've had in there that our student enrollment hasn't continued to increase, but it hasn't actually. If you look at the facts and figures, our enrollment is at best steady. And so there's 2 measures. The first one is the shorter one. It's measure 539. And this is kind of a rare opportunity that Scappoose has been provided by a family in Scappoose. So it's about $850,000 for the purchase of 15 acres within the city limits. What we're looking at is putting this on a bonds for 20-year retirement, and it would be approximately 10 cents per thousand. So measure 540 is a $1.6 million bond levy. I'm not going to just sit and read. You can look at, we've listed what we're looking to do at each one of the buildings. Basically, it's roof, guttering, downspouts, asphalting that need to be done. The board decided that they would look at bonds being retired in 10 years and for about approximately 32 cents a thousand.
My man Waylon, what'd you think when you heard CCTV was starting a new country western video show?
I sure was glad.
Well, that's because Go West is a rip snorting, boot scooting, guitar twanging, cowboy singing, hip swaying, video playing good time. It's a whole lot of country.
We're playing hillbilly music.
A whole lot of video.
No way I could move.
And a whole lot of fun.
It is humorous. It's meant to be.
We took Mark Johnson.
Oh, baby, how I love a sweaty man.
Teamed him up with Becky McKesh.
We're like personal friends now.
Gave him the world's best country videos.
This is getting really cool here.
Mixed it all together and bam, it's Go West.
It turned out perfect.
Another revelation in country. I'm going to start crying here in a minute.
So take it from Mary Chapin Carpenter.
You listen to me, I know what's best for you.
And devote your life to Go West.
I don't think so.
All right, then just watch the show, okay?
That's what music is really about.
And get your country fix. Okay, Waylon, they get the point. We're out of here.
I'll tell them when I'm true, and they'll tell me when I'm true.
To live is to know love.
I look at each day seriously as a gift, and I try and not ever take things for granted.
To live is to experience joy.
I am incredibly happy. I have a wonderful life, and I have breast cancer.
To live is to suffer fear.
My greatest fear was who's going to be here to nurture and raise my babies.
To live is to take the next step.
If I hadn't have gone for my mammogram, I probably wouldn't be alive today.
They hear cancer and they think that's the end, and it's not. It's a cancer that can be cured.
For more information about receiving a free mammogram or cervical exam, call your county health department, Tribe, or the American Cancer Society.
Columbia County News. Wherever the story breaks, wherever the news goes, Columbia County News will bring it to you. With Debbie Corsilia and Mark Johnson with sports.
Warmer days are a sure sign of spring, and some strange critters have been reported in Old Town St. Helens. Rabbits that lay eggs? Would you believe? The kids at Columbia Pacific Head Start enjoyed the sunshine as they went out on their annual egg hunt and picnic at Columbia View Park. And now here's what's featured at the Columbia Theater. And for questions regarding the showtimes, you can call 397-9791. Now here's what's new, some of the latest breaking news bulletins from around the county.
Democratic candidates for the Columbia County Commission, Joel Yarber and Colleen DeShazer, will meet in an open town hall debate at the Columbia Technology Center, April 27th at 7 p.m. This will be televised live on CCTV, and all citizens are urged to call in your questions or attend in person. The state representative candidates, Jan Hildreth and Jackie Taylor, will meet in a debate at the Columbia Technology Center on Monday, May 4th. This debate will be open to the public, televised live on CCTV, and you'll be able to call in your questions. Stay tuned to CCTV for your latest election coverage in the '98 Oregon primary.
Once again, we take you to the Columbia Humane Society for Pet of the Week.
This is Rowdy. She's a female spade. She's about 3 or 4 years old. She's a Spaniel Doxy mix. She's been kept outside, but she's housebroke and really good with kids. She came from a homeless family that had kids. And they had to relinquish her because they had to move away and couldn't have a dog. It's $75 to adopt Rowdy. That includes all of her shots and wormings. And a 30-day trial.
Kind of hard to resist that face, isn't it?
Yeah, you good girl. You good girl. Yes, you are. She says, I'm very good, huh?
And how old is she?
3 or 4. She's 3 or 4 years old. Yeah.
Okay.
Heavy. This is Carol. She's a tortie. She's 3 years old. Her owner died, and the neighbors found her wandering the neighborhood and brought her in about 2 weeks later. She's wonderful. She seems to adjust well. She's not a nervous cat. She make a good kitty. She loves to play.
She has beautiful markings.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can get close enough to... Look at that face.
She's a doll.
And how much will it cost to purchase her?
$45, and that's all of her shots and wormings. She's already been spayed.
Good with dogs?
Yeah, she seems to be good with dogs and everything.
And good with kids and everything?
She seems really sweet.
She'd be a good kitty for somebody.
She gives love bites. That doesn't hurt. She gives love bites, huh? Yeah.
She's got lots of love for some family, doesn't she?
She's wonderful. I like her. She's really got character.
To bring you the Employment Division report, here's Employment Specialist Bruce Crawford.
Hi, I'm Bruce. I'm with the Oregon Employment Department. We're located at the old St. Helens Hospital next to the DMV. Our hours are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Here are a few of the services that we do have to offer: unemployment insurance benefits, job search assistance, employment workshops, labor market information, recruitment services for employers, and other special programs for employers and job seekers. We'd like to invite the public to come in and visit our Job and Career Center. You may use our computer data bank to locate thousands of jobs that employers have listed with us throughout the state. State jobs announcements are also available on these computers. If you can't make it into our office, you can use our job search kiosk located in Scappoose at the high school pharmacy, in Rainier at City Hall, and at the Century Market in Vernonia. For internet users, our website address is www.emp.state.or.us. If you're interested in updating a resume, developing a job search strategy, or brushing up on interviewing skills, you can attend one of a series of free workshops that are provided on Tuesdays and Thursdays by the Employment Department and MTC, Management Training Corporation. MTC is a company that offers career counseling, job placement, vocational training opportunities, and a wide variety of other services for those who meet certain criteria. Their office is located in the same building as the Employment Department. Call or stop by for more information. If you're interested in applying for State of Oregon jobs, we have informational workshops the third Friday of each month from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. And if you want to use a computer to make a resume, cover letter, MTC and the Employment Department have computers available for you to use. We also have software programs for career assessment, labor market information, and practicing typing and 10-key skills. We do have a veterans representative on site that covers both our St. Helens and Astoria offices. You need to call or stop by to schedule an appointment with him. Employers can contact our office for recruitment assistance. We can help you locate qualified workers for your new job openings. Your new job openings are entered into our data system and seen by anyone who uses our statewide computer bank. Your job order is also accessible on the internet for those job seekers everywhere to see. And if your business or organization needs a meeting or an interview room, you can schedule one of ours at no cost. Please call for scheduling information. Also, for the employers, we have information on economic or labor market conditions. You can check with our Employment Department employer representative for special state and federal incentive programs designed to help save you money on your bottom line. These services are provided to employers at no additional cost. Now for a list of our job openings for this week.
Today's job listings include a action coordinator, salary dependent upon experience in St. Helens, a legal secretary, salary $2,051 to $2,469 a month in St. Helens, a bookkeeper clerk, starting $10.45 an hour in Columbia City, a fiscal manager, part-time, $9 an hour in St. Helens. Inside-outside sales, this is a commission job in St. Helens. A line cook, $6.50 an hour in Scappoose. A cook and diet aide on call, $6 to $6.50 an hour in St. Helens. A security guard, this is an inside and outside position, $6 an hour in St. Helens. A security guard, also an inside and outside position, $6.55 an hour in North Portland. And a gas station attendant, $6 an hour in Scappoose. That's the Oregon Employment Department report for this week.
For the latest in local sports, here's CCTV's Chuck Purvis.
This week in sports, softball is off to a good start. Earlier in the week, the Lions and the Indians met in Scappoose, with the Indians staging a come-from-behind victory after a big inning. It was 10-6 in favor of the Indians. The Lions were 1-1 in the league going into Thursday's game with the Banks Braves. Again, in a tightly fought game featuring a rare triple play, the Lions held their own and were tied 1-1 when Banks erupted for 4 in the top of the 7th inning to give them the 5-1 victory. The Scappoose Indians defeated Astoria on Thursday and remain unbeaten in league and currently ranked 3rd in state. The number 6 ranked Lions have only a 1-2 league record and are going to have to hold on to remain a factor in the Kawapa League. In boys baseball, Scappoose and St. Helens met, with the Indians pulling out a 4-3 victory. The Indians won again this week and currently have a 3-0 record in the Kawapa League. The Lions have played strong and are sure to be a factor. We hope you enjoy this footage we have of the St. Helens Banks game played on Thursday. It featured a triple play and some great hitting and defense. If you have a chance, come out and watch these kids. They really do play their hearts out. Next week, we'll be back with a full sports report, but this week we're remodeling here at the office, and so you're getting this abbreviated report. But again, folks, the softball and baseball going full swing. Also on Tuesday at St. Helens, the top 2 javelin throwers in Class 3A will be meeting.
Well, that's it for this edition of Columbia County News, and we want to thank you very much for watching. To keep up with the latest CCTV information, visit our website at www.columbia-center.org/CCTV. I'm Debbie Corsilia, inviting you back next week for more news from around the county.